I think it's funny, one of the things that was said World War II, that they've awakened a sleeping giant. Well, we've been awakened as the silent majority, and I think that's something that is a credit to everyone out here, and just shows that when we need it, you will stand up. The rocks will cry out when someone else doesn't. So today we all stand here, an uncommon people in an unbelievable time. We're gathering due to un-American philosophies which have spawned unconstitutional legislation. Now is not the time for the faint of heart, nor is this the time to lose hope. For now is a time when America rises to the occasion. You guys are all out there answering the call. Throughout our history, we have reached pivotal points in the pursuit of freedom across the world. When the drums beat and the cries for revolution rose over 200 years ago, America answered the call. When Europe needed someone to save them from tyranny, we answered the call. When Europe once again allowed appeasement to take the place of freedom, America answered the call. When communism threatened the globe, America answered the call with strength and determination. On 9/11, we came together, neighbors helping neighbors. The one thing the heart of America has never done, though, is stand for appeasement in the face of tyranny. And make no mistake, the policies of this administration are tyranny, the likes of which we have not seen before. Over the past 80 years, we've seen tyranny across the globe, and we've allowed it to creep into our society because we've been complacent. The struggle didn't start with this administration. We were silent too long, and it's not going to end with these policies. This is simply a manifestation of the years of apathy, taking for granted this shining city on a hill. We have soldiers across the globe who died for our freedoms that are being taken for granted. But they know a principle we seem to have forgot, that freedom isn't free. But that shouldn't be the mantra of the men and women in uniform. It should be our mantra as well. We must all pay a price, and while theirs is a greater sacrifice, putting their life on the line every day, we physically need to go out. We need to challenge people. We need to learn. We must understand what our freedoms are so we don't take them for granted. And so when somebody comes up to us and says, vote for this guy, we want this legislation, we want health insurance, we know, no, we will not stand for that because we're free, and the best way to do it is the private sector. But we have given it up on the left and the right. There were many things George Bush did that we didn't stand up against, and that is a problem. But now we are standing up, and we're not going to be silent just because somebody says that this is just a rightist movement. This is left and right because it's about freedom, and that is not an issue that we can be bipartisan on. One thing Ronald Reagan said is a government big enough to give you everything you want, or strong enough to give you everything you want, is a government big enough to take everything you have. And some people have forgotten that. When we're willing to sacrifice a little bit of freedom for a little bit of security, we deserve neither, and we will lose both. Now, we have thrown around the word tyranny, and it takes many forms. We have thrown around the word tyranny, and it takes many forms. But we have gathered in the name of the free market and of capitalism and limited government. And unfortunately, we seem to have misunderstood the meaning and the foundation of capitalism. When the government intervenes, setting price floors and ceilings, when the government subsidizes failure, that's called socialism. When the government decapitalizes business on the federal, state, and local levels and the economy collapses, that's not a failure of capitalism, it's a failure of government. That's a problem with the greed, stretching, taking, saying, well, we have so much, so how dare we let this go? Well, we have so much because we have stood for the free market. The more we intrude into that, we are not going to be helping the weak. We are not going to be helping them. That is something that we need to do with our charities and in our churches. They're closing down markets to innovation with radical environmentalist agendas.